Okay folks, welcome back to the Long Dark. Yes, we are here, we are back, we are still in the hunting lodge. I'm going to give you a few heads up things before we start. I am ridiculously jet lagged. Very, very tired. As you may have seen from the, hopefully, if I've managed to get it published, downtime video, I've been to New York for the last week, and I got back yesterday and spent most of it sleeping. I am very, very tired, so apologies if this doesn't make a lot of sense. This could be quite entertaining, this one. Also, we have some development news, which I'm going to go into in a little bit, but let's get going to start with. Now, I have to be honest, I haven't had a quick look back over the last video to double check exactly where we were. I can't remember what I said I was going to do, so apologies if I don't end up doing that. What I recall doing is we got the wolf pelts from over there, we harvested them, we brought them back here, and we did a bit of a cook-off and got some water and all that good stuff. So I think we need to sleep. I have slept for an hour to save the game just at the end of the last video, so let's just drink a little bit of water. I just want to check where I am in terms of available food. Yeah, I've got some uncooked food that I need to cook. So that's kind of what I need to do next. So I need to get some sleep in, both in real life and in the game. Let's see if we can do 6 hours of sleep. There we go. Risk of intestinal parasites is healed, so I can eat some more of that wolf meat. And then we need to cook up the rest of it. That should have given us enough just to do what we need to do. So let's just drink some more water, make sure we're fully stocked up there, and then let's grab the rest of this wolf meat from in here. Meat really does go off a lot faster than it used to. It's been balanced quite differently now. It really does go off very, very quickly. We can either use the fireplace or the stove. I've been using the fireplace, so let's use the stove. Let's grab a few bits of reclaimed wood and get this lit. I keep forgetting I've got a fire striker. I keep using matches. Oh yes, let's take the charcoal before we start. We need to try and do a bit more map making in this region, since I have no idea where I'm going. Let's start with a stick. See if we can get this fire started. Yes, there has been some development updates. We're going to go into this, and this is actually quite an appropriate time to start doing it because one of them is cooking. But yes, it's teaser updates at the moment, not a full list for the next update of the game, which they've said is going to be coming towards the end of May or the beginning of June. They haven't given a specific date, but it's towards the end of May or the beginning of June. We're going to get another update to the Long Dark, and there is a new region being mentioned. Currently called River Valley, but I believe that is a placeholder name, so we're going to have to wait and see what that actually ends up being called. But certainly looks interesting. New waterfall effects, they look pretty cool. And some tweaking to the layouts of trees and how things are done, so that could be quite an interesting region. I assume that is going to come in survival mode, so we are going to see that region in the next update, so that'll be pretty cool. But the one that's relevant to what we're doing now, they've completely overhauled the cooking system. As you can see at the moment, we're literally in a menu. We just go into a menu in the fire and we just select things and we just cook them. That's what we do. I think some of this wolf meat may actually have gone... Oh no, it's still okay. So we're literally just selecting it from a menu, and it's happening in accelerated time, and then it's cooked at the end of the accelerated time, and all is good with the world. That's changing in the next update. It's going to be a lot more realistic, where you have to place items to cook them next to a fire or on a stove or something like that, and they take real time to cook. You put them by the fire and you kind of have to leave them until they're ready, is the impression I'm getting. So you kind of place it on the stove top in its container. You have to find cooking vessels now, so cans or pots or whatever. You actually have to use them. And you're going to be placing things on the fire, on top of the stove. Oh, my cooking skills gone up. Awesome. So like these pots here that are here, we have to use them. I suspect it's going to be a case of we just select it, and then we can put things in it. Different types of stoves are going to have a certain number of slots in them, so you can cook several things at the same time. but obviously how many you can do depends on the size of the stove and what cooking vessels and things you have. But you can select them, you put them on there, and then you kind of have to walk away and just wait until they're ready. So it's going to be very, very different. It's not happening in a menu. It's not just a simple click and wait for it. It's now a case of putting it down and kind of coming and checking it and checking it and checking it. So it's far more realistic. That is, of course, how you cook in real life. So that actually could be kind of cool. They're the biggest two changes that we've seen in the development log. Let's see what's happened to this meat. Oh, it's now quite edible. Oh no, that's the stuff in the container. I'm tired. Give me a break. Oh, it's actually okay anyway. There we go. And if we've got some water stashed, let's just grab a bit more of that. Okay, cool. That was the major update. There's been obviously some bug fixes and some tweaks. They're working on obviously some changes to Wintermute, which we knew about anyway. We knew they were making some changes to Wintermute. To reflect the feedback they got from all of us, really, all of the players who weren't... I think it's fair to say that Wintermute wasn't quite what everyone was expecting. It didn't play the way everyone was kind of expecting it to. So they're doing some things to kind of make it a little bit less linear, a little bit more open, and tweak a few of the conversation menus and things like that. I think some people were disappointed that... the way the conversation menus worked with the NPCs, that it was basically just a text menu, and you just clicked on things and there was no speech, there was no dialogue and nothing like that. It was like old school Fallout games, except that there wasn't any speech at all. It's like in Fallout 4 there's proper fully animated dialogue from both player character and NPC. In Fallout 3 you at least get some talked, spoken response from the NPCs. In the Long Dark in Wintermute, you didn't get any of that. It didn't. The characters didn't speak. It was just text-based dialogue, and people are a bit frustrated about that. So I think that's been adjusted. They've also mentioned a bear spear, which I assume is a spear that you can make from presumably sticks or branches, an arrowhead that you can use to hunt the deer by hand or defend yourself against the deer. So that's going to be pretty interesting, I think. Okay, keeping an eye open for wolves. What's the temperature like over here? -9, it's not too bad. We're in good shape. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to do a little bit of exploring, and I want to do a little bit of map making, because we haven't really done a great deal of that. If I open the map, you can see, if I zoom right in, there's the lodge. This is the area that we're in. If we head to the deer carcass, I think, and we could do with doing a little bit of mapping from the deer carcass. There's the fire that was next to the wolf that we harvested. So the wolf is gone, obviously, because we fully harvested it. It's a deer carcass over there. Just pick some sticks up. I'm not seeing the wolves around at the moment, which probably means I'll jump out from behind the rock and take my head off. There's a cairn over there. Do you know? Let's go over to that cairn. There's also a sapling there in Smallman's beard. Let's have that. So let's focus, I think, today on just harvesting the stuff from this area. Let's just try and gather up what we can. There isn't a fat lot over here. I think we are kind of at the very top of the world here. There we go. So we're going to have ourselves a sapling. Ooh, and this is a fir limb, so we'll have that as well. Okay, where was that cairn? There it is. The weather's going downhill a little bit.
I can't feel my hands.
Yeah, don't worry. Oops, I missed the cairn now, haven't I? Where was it? I need to stop looking sideways when I'm walking forwards. There it is. Oh. I'll actually get to it. Its story is not yet written. I assume this is... There should actually be... It's one of the backers from the beginning of the game, from the Kickstarter element of the game, sponsored having one of those put in there, but they haven't actually written anything to go with it. I've always been intrigued as well as to how the weather affects map making. It's let me come quite a long way up here. Let's see if it'll let me do some map making.
Too
There
cold
we go. Okay, that's extended the map a little bit. I can see 2 different pathways now leading off here. That one there straight ahead of us is where we came up. That is a different route, so we can definitely head that way. What's temperature? -10. We are.
That guy who drank his own pee doesn't seem so crazy right about now.
Yeah, we are now at hypothermia risk. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to head back to the hut. I was going to harvest this deer. In fact, can we light a fire? There's no wind. Can we light a fire? I think we've got the stuff to light a fire. Then we don't have to come back over this way and do this again. We'll harvest this deer. I think there is an extra pathway that we can now see. So I'm tempted to head up that way because we've not really explored very much. Get this fire started. Come on, little fire. Sometimes they light really quickly, sometimes they take their time. There we go.
Perfect.
Okay, I'm just going to chuck a piece of this fur on. That should give us a long enough duration fire for us to do what we need to do. Okay, so meat-wise, there isn't very much on here, but we'll have it hide and gut. And that's going to take 1 hour 11 minutes using my hunting knife. So let's harvest that. Whoops. I may have slightly let myself get dehydrated there, but that's not too much of a problem. In fact, I can even, whilst I'm sitting here, make myself half a litre of water, because I have enough fire left to do that. I always try to make water on excess fires, as long as I've got the ability to actually carry it. If I'm in the middle of doing a trek and I haven't got the carrying weight, I won't do it. But if I'm not far from where I'm going back to and I've got time, I will always make a fire. Always make water on whatever remains of any fire I light. Spot on. Okay, so we've harvested this deer. Is that a feather? It is a feather. And that's a stone. I've not been using the stones. I haven't, as you've probably noticed, I haven't really been using the stones. Okay, temperature now is -3, so temperature's actually not too bad at the moment now. It's kind of tempted just to have a quick nosy up here, over here. I'm probably going to end up regretting this because you know what I'm like. I always disappear off. I always do these little things on the spur of the moment. Let's go off and do this massive exploration, completely unequipped and unprepared, and then I end up on the edge. Okay, well this goes off in a different direction, so this is taking us somewhere else. Another deer carcass. Okay, and can we do some surveying? Can we do some map making? There we go. Okay, don't know where we're going, but I think this could just be another way of getting back to the same place. What's the current temperature? -3. I'm suspecting I can probably harvest this one without having to worry too much about freezing. Okay, let's harvest.
I gotta warm up somehow.
Our temperature's actually increasing, so it's gone above freezing. Okay, cool. So we've got ourselves 2 deer carcasses and all the stuff that goes with it. We've got some reishi mushrooms here as well, so let's just grab these. I think we're going to have to go on a mass reishi mushroom and rosehip tea making session at some stage fairly soon. Okay, this is taking us down. I think this could be leading us back round to kind of similar direction. I don't want to go too far because obviously the weather's closing in a little bit. I think this is bringing us down where the other route crosses. Let's just do another quick survey down this way. Okay. Right, let's head back then, because the weather is closing in. We've got the mist is descending. Temperature-wise, it's actually above freezing, so we're actually doing okay. But if we lose visibility, we're going to get really, really stuck, and I don't want that to happen. So let's make our way back. But we've made some good progress here. We've got ourselves 2 deer carcasses, and the hides, obviously, to go with them. Not very much meat from them, but a little bit. And we've done a little bit of surveying and a little bit of mapping, so we've got some idea of where we're going. And obviously that road there is the route that we actually take. That's the route that goes back down towards the rail yard. So I'll just kind of, I think on our next little foray out there we'll just go a little bit further down that road. I might actually, no, I might go back down the road itself and map the road all the way back to the river. Which is obviously where we had our moose encounter. We are on a ridge here, so we've pretty much explored everything there is to explore up here. There isn't very much left. Oh, let's take advantage of the fact that we're not freezing at the moment to gather up some of the tree limbs and things that are pretty close to the hut, so that we've got ourselves.
Can you eat trees?
Certain trees, yes. You can eat certain trees. The mournful music is playing. It's not the full mournful music. It's quite chilled out actually at the moment. So pick up a few sticks, and there we go. So let's head back inside then. And we'll just go through our stash. Let's see what we've got. Been a pretty good haul this. We've done quite well. Okay, so what do we have? Well, we have some more gut. Quite a lot of that. We've got 4 pieces. Let's just bring up the appropriate menu. So we've got 2 deer hides. We've got 4 gut. And we have a sapling. And we've got quite a lot of rose hips and reishi mushrooms, so that should be good as well. Okay, so let's lay out. We'll try and do it neatly. Lay out our hides. And our gut, which we'll just lay out around here, wherever we've got some space. Shame I can't get rid of that coat hanging. It's kind of ruining things a little bit. Oh, we've got sapling as well. Let's drop that over there. So our home away from home is starting to look pretty cool. We've got a lot of crafting materials going on here. We've got lots and lots of gut. And we've got ourselves lots of hides and pelts, which is looking pretty good. Right, okay, so we need to... How good is this meat that we are carrying? Oh, not very, so we need to cook that pretty quick. So let us grab some more reclaimed woods. I'm going to try and use the reclaimed wood wherever possible because it's easy to come by. It's, let's say cheap. It's easy to get hold of. Oh, let's take the charcoal, we're going to need that. It's easy to get hold of from breaking down stuff in this building, so I'm going to try and use reclaimed wood wherever possible. It doesn't burn as well, but there's plenty of it. I also need to start thinking about some tinder as well, so we'll sort some tinder plugs and stuff out in a minute. We're starting to run a bit short of tinder, which is something that is a bit unusual. Usually we have tons of it. In fact, back at the other buildings we do have tons of it, but right here we don't. We have spread our wings far and wide across the long dark world.
Perfect.
This playthrough. Okay, so let's add some fuel. We'll add all 4 of those, and then we'll cook up this venison, because it's pretty bad. And that will give us a bit more condition on it. I think I've gone through everything that was in the dev update, by the way. I can't think of anything else I spotted. New waterfall effects. They look pretty cool. The bear spear is there. And obviously a new region, which will look pretty fantastic. Actually, I don't know how that region fits in. By the way,
Find
there's
something to eat.
not very much information about exactly where it fits in. Are we heading towards sleep time here? Yes, we are. So let's make use of the herbal tea then. So let's cook up some of that herbal tea. That will give us a few calories, which is always good, and it'll also give us more restful sleep, I believe. I don't actually know what that means. I'll be interested to try and figure that one out, but... okay, so we've got a cup of herbal tea, which is hot. We don't need that warmth bonus from it, by the way, this time around, so... okay, so we need to eat. So let's eat some venison, since it's in good condition at the moment. Yeah, I'm not going to eat that piece just yet, and we'll drink some more water. Okay. We're not quite at the time of sleep, but of course everything is sorted. So we're actually looking pretty good in here at the moment. We're not quite ready for sleep yet. The sound of the wind outside suggests it's not very pleasant out there at the moment. So no chance of doing any mapping. Let's just have a quick look at our map. There's quite a lot of good stuff. Reishi mushrooms we picked up. There's loads of cedar and fir limbs out there that we didn't see. There's actually another deer carcass a little bit further down that we didn't get to. So there's another deer carcass that's not very far away. There's loads of fir and cedar limbs down there. I don't know if... well, they clearly don't get cancelled off once you've harvested them, so some of these we've probably already got, but I think we can just keep pushing slightly further down this way and just seeing what we get. I think the road goes down this way. This seems to go down that way, so... and we can kind of head back up here. Let's actually... we've still got a little bit of fire. Have we got... we need to prepare the reishi mushrooms and everything else though, don't we? Let's chuck a bit more... chuck a bit more fuel on the fire, keep it going. Just save our fire starting materials by keeping our fire going. While we do a little bit of crafting with our prepared rose hips and prepared mushrooms so that we can use them hopefully. Because this will help us get some natural calories. It's going dark now. I don't know whether it'll stop us doing this when it goes dark. Oh well, it doesn't matter, we've hit the end of it anyway. Okay, let's jump into the stove then, and then hopefully we can make... remember how to do it, there we are. So this will help us get some natural calories, and it's also a natural medicine cabinet, and I think one of my medicines is low on stock, or I may have run out completely, so I'll double check that in a moment. Ooh, okay, I've run out of water. Need more water. A few litres of water. And we shall continue. So yeah, what we're doing basically here, reishi mushrooms and rose hips allow us to make natural medicines, but we can also just drink them to give us calories when we need those. So they do have healing properties. They replace some of the artificial medicines that you may find in the game, but we can also just drink them to give us calories when we need them. So it comes in very, very helpful. Okay, so let's just have a quick take of what we have then. We've got quite a lot of wolf meat, so that's looking pretty good. Medicine-wise, I don't have any antibiotics. One of these two has antibiotic properties. I can't remember which. I think it's reishi tea. So that's pretty useful having that because we don't have any antibiotics ourselves. Clothing-wise, we're all looking good. Food-wise, we've got plenty. That's one that I probably would not want to risk at this stage, so we'll get rid of it. And food-wise, let's just drop a couple of these back across ready to use. I'm carrying some stuff that I don't need to be carrying. Let's get rid of that rifle cartridge. And we are carrying some old man's beard lichen, which we don't need to be carrying. We can sort that out into wound dressing at some stage. Okay, so at the moment we're looking pretty good. Tinder plugs is something I need to get some more of before we think about going anywhere else. We're actually carrying quite a lot of weight. Oh, it's all the meat that we're carrying. That's fine. We'll eat that before we go anywhere else. Okay then, so let's sleep through the night. Let's eat, drink and be merry before we do that though. So back into the menu. And we shall just eat wolf meat, which obviously gives us that intestinal parasites risk. But that's fine. We figured out we can have up to 3 of those without having a major issue from it, so... Okay, and let's jump into bed. We'll see if it'll let us do the full 8 hours. It probably won't, but we'll see how we get on. Take us through to the following day. Oh, the Aurora is active. I thought I could hear a buzz through my headphones. Well, there was a bit of a buzz. I assume that's because the Aurora is activating things. Let's just pop outside then. We'll have a quick look. Because it's usually pretty cool looking when we go out here. Oh, that is actually one thing. Hopefully it's not too horrible weather. Yeah, the lights are buzzing. The lights are lighting. Everything looks pretty cool. The headlights of the cars are active. And the lights on the road are active. And the Aurora looks cool as ever. Ain't that fantastic? Yeah, that looks pretty cool. Yeah, so one of the things that was hinted at in the devlog, which I did forget about, lore. They're planning on dropping some kind of bits of history, I suppose you could say, bits of lore into the game. The idea is that you're going to, when the Aurora's active and computers are kind of flashing, you'll see things on the screen. You'll be able to read kind of messages, emails, things that are from the original occupants of the area, which kind of add a bit of backstory to the area that you're in, and what happened to the people and everything else. So that actually sounds quite interesting. They've not said what any of those are going to be, which is fine. Oh, not tired enough to sleep. We're going to have to pass time then for a few hours, because there isn't very much more we can do. So that's going to be pretty cool. So you'll get to learn a little bit more about the backstory of the game and the area that you're in and the people that were there and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of interesting. So kind of looking forward to that. That should be cool. Okay, Aurora's still active, I think, a little bit. But we should now be heading into daylight, so it's a bit less visible. The Aurora only tends to come up at night. Oh, the weather does not sound very promising at all. Wow. That is a sunrise and a half, isn't it? I think the Aurora is gone. I don't think it's active anymore. But that is pretty spectacular nonetheless. And that is where we're going to leave it for this video. So thank you so much for joining me as always. We've had a little bit of a housekeeping video as Ken over there, which I've probably pointed out several times already. Yeah, a little bit of a housekeeping video, but we started doing a little bit of exploration. So I think what we're going to do in the next video, we're going to head back along that trail that we came down before. We're going to see if we can harvest that other deer carcass, get a bit further along, do a bit more mapping before we come back here, and just start to map the region. I think is going to be our goal. See if we can map most of the region, learn what's going on, learn where things are, and make sure we collect everything we possibly can before we head back towards Mystery Lake. But right now, thank you as always for joining me. Hit the like and subscribe buttons, and I shall see you again as always very soon.